What's up, Gooners? Arsenal insiders have just dropped a bombshell about the signing of Morgan Rogers after learning of Aston Villa's high asking price. But that's not all. Newcastle now has a very different view on Sandro Tonali's potential move to Arsenal or Manchester United this summer. Furthermore, Inter Milan are potentially interested in signing an Arsenal player for £5 million, who barely plays for the team. If you want to know all the details about these big transfer news as we plan our title defence, sign up now, turn on notifications, and let's dive into what could define our summer transfer window. Let's jump straight into the first story because Morgan Rogers has been one of the standout players in the Premier League this season, and naturally, Arsenal have one eye on him. The Gunners are chasing a player who can play down the left-hand side, and Rogers ticks the boxes perfectly, as well as his ability to play as the number 10 in midfield. Rogers is set to go to the World Cup with England as a potential starter, and should he have a good tournament, there's likely to be even more interest from top clubs across Europe. Arsenal are one club who genuinely like the player and have been monitoring him closely, but according to journalist Ben Jacobs, the Gunners aren't quite sure about the price tag Aston Villa are demanding. The Gunners board are not averse to spending big money if it's needed for the right player. The likes of Kai Havertz, Declan Rice and Victor Gyökeres have all cost huge fees in recent years, and those signings have worked out brilliantly. However, according to Jacobs, Arsenal insiders are not overly excited about the idea of paying more than £80 million for Rogers at this stage. Jacobs revealed who is in the race for Morgan Rogers: Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea and PSG, not Liverpool at this stage. Arsenal, I'm told, are a bit put off by the price. They're looking for a starting left winger. Rogers is fine left wing or playing as number 10, but at this stage Arsenal actually think 80 million, and it could rise if there's a bidding war is a little bit steep. At this stage, Arsenal are in a position where they are very much the biggest attraction in England. As champions, and with Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City, there's a genuine chance for the Gunners to build a real legacy under Mikel Arteta and continue to win trophies for years to come. That will appeal to Rogers and other top targets, and ultimately paying £80 million might be worth it for the Villa man if he's the right fit. Essentially, it's an almost guaranteed home run for Arsenal if they do sign Rogers. He's Premier League ready, young and ready to improve further, and already impacts games in the final third with goals and assists. If he's available and Arteta believes in him, then Arsenal simply need to go and get him, regardless of the price. When you're champions, you pay championship prices. Now let's talk about Sandro Tonali, because the situation has changed dramatically in recent weeks regarding his potential move to Arsenal or Manchester United. Tonali is one of the names being mentioned for a move to Arsenal this summer, as Mikel Arteta looks to strengthen the midfield again after winning the title. Tonali has developed into one of the premier midfield players in England, and with Newcastle in an uncertain financial position due to FFP, there are suggestions he could leave St James's Park. Arsenal are huge fans of Tonali's quality, and with a new midfielder on the shopping list, his signing would make a lot of sense for squad depth and quality. However, while some reports are suggesting a move to Arsenal or Manchester United is inevitable this summer, Sky Sports' Keith Downey has suggested something completely different. There's no doubting that Tonali would help improve Arsenal massively. His quality and proven ability in midfield would boost an already strong squad at the Emirates and give Arteta more options for rotation. However, according to Downey, Tonali could now end up staying as a Newcastle player rather than moving to a bigger club. Downey revealed on Sky Sports, "We had a message from one of our colleagues over at Sky Italy this morning to say that there's actually been, as far as he understood, some direct contact between both Manchester United and Newcastle for the potential departure or potential transfer of Tonali to Old Trafford." He continued, "And the good news for you guys is, at this current moment, I'm told that is not the case. And there's been no talks, no contact from Manchester United towards Newcastle for Tonali. And I have to say, just the noises I'm hearing, it feels like there's more chance of him staying now than probably there was a few weeks ago." With Tonali likely to cost north of £70 million, Arsenal might well feel there are better value players available elsewhere in Europe who can do a similar job. Of course, within that big fee, you are paying for a player who is already settled in England and, crucially, does not need to get up to speed with the Premier League's intensity and demands. Still, it does feel like the situation is cooling down a bit, and maybe that's the right thing for Arsenal to do right now. Focus resources on other priority positions. Now let's talk about Kepa Arrizabalaga, because Inter Milan are reportedly showing interest in an Arsenal player who has found first-team opportunities incredibly hard to come by this season. According to Italian journalist Marco Barzaghi, the Serie A giants are among the clubs considering a move for Kepa this summer, though he was careful to stress the rumour remains unconfirmed at this stage. Discussing Inter's search for a new goalkeeper on his YouTube channel, Barzaghi said, "There are other names, but they aren't confirmed, like Kepa and David De Gea, who could perhaps even be a starter, but I have no confirmation." Kepa joined Arsenal last summer for £5 million from Chelsea and has played just 11 games this season, none of them in the Premier League, which tells you everything. He featured in every domestic cup game but drew heavy criticism for a costly error in the Carabao Cup final defeat to Manchester City that essentially cost Arsenal the trophy. With David Raya being touted for the Premier League Player of the Season award, he is Arsenal's undisputed #1 goalkeeper going forward. Kepa isn't getting into the Arsenal first team anytime soon, and everyone at the club knows it. He's a backup at best. Kepa still has 2 years remaining on his contract, running until 2028, which gives Arsenal a degree of leverage in any negotiations with interested clubs. Whether Inter's interest develops into a concrete offer remains to be seen. As Barzaghi himself was careful to stress, the report was unconfirmed and just preliminary interest. From Arsenal's perspective, recouping funds from a Kepa sale would be a welcome boost ahead of a big summer window for Andrea Berta and the recruitment team. With Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Ben Wright among those potentially departing, Arsenal are already set for a significant squad reshuffle this summer. They're also set to receive a financial windfall from Ethan Nwaneri's failed loan at Marseille due to a lack of playing time clause, while the Southampton Spygate scandal could earn Arsenal a few million through the Ramsdale sell-on clause. Any additional funds generated from fringe players moving on will only strengthen Mikel Arteta and Arsenal's hand in the transfer market when competing for top targets. Ian Wright praises Noni Madueke as Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy. Arsenal are Premier League champions, and as expected, Ian Wright is one happy man. Wright has been through all the emotions of every other Arsenal fan in recent seasons, but sat back and lapped it up as the Gunners lifted the Premier League trophy at Selhurst Park. For Arsenal and Wright, today marked the end of years of pain and near misses, and it feels like a defining moment for the club, especially with Pep Guardiola leaving Man City. Nevertheless, today is about Arsenal, and reacting to Arsenal's trophy lift, Wright praised the team and stand-in winger Noni Madueke. Ian Wright was so emotional as it was all happening, and there will genuinely be nobody happier than him. Still, while he praised the team in general, Wright also reserved special praise for Noni Madueke. "Wow, that was amazing. This is so special with what we've been through in the last few seasons," Wright said on Sky Sports. "Just to see some of those guys go up, how emotional they are. I'm so happy for them and for the whole of Arsenal. The squad is better. Whatever people say about Noni Madueke, we needed him to come in and give Bukayo Saka the kind of rest that he needed. He has given us the capability of resting Saka. The players who have come in and have done well, and that's what we needed." Alright Gooners, that's all the massive news from today. Now I want to hear from you. Should Arsenal pay 80 million for Rodgers or look elsewhere? Are you disappointed we might not get Tonali? And should we sell Kepa to Inter this summer? Drop all your thoughts in the comments right now. I read every single comment and your debates are always incredible. Let's get a proper discussion going about our transfer strategy. Until next time, Gooners, trust the process and come on you Gunners.